Hey everybody, it feels good to be back. I just wanted to show y'all actually a new harmonica I recently got. What you just heard me play was this bad boy right here. This is the Suzuki Manji Sky. And this is one in the key of B flat, which is, you can see right here. Like, this is not my first rodeo with a Suzuki harp. In fact, I do love the Suzuki Blues Master, which I am going to do a little comparison with it later. So, specifically, a little history on this harmonica. This was released back in 2024. Like the Manji had been out for like nearly a decade at that point, a little over a decade. And I've always wanted to try any version of the Manji. And so when I heard that there's like a version that has like, that's supposed to be like really responsive and really good for bending, I was completely on board with that. Like, for basically, like, you know me, I mainly grew up like listening to like country music and stuff. And I so I thought that like this would be really, really good for country. Like, and especially with a lot of the stuff that I play that's more on the more bluesy kind of country stuff. I also really like how like the Manji in general sounds, especially with the idea of like this hybrid comb, which gives you like both the benefits of both wood and plastic, this is essentially a plastic comb with wood fibers in it. That's basically what the Manji comb is in a nutshell. And the comb is also prevalent on the Suzuki Olive as well, which I do consider that to be like a sister harp to the Manji series. So again, I really love like how raspy this harmonica sounds. Like, just from hearing like the chords, like you can just hear like that really raspy sort of quality to it. And I really love how this responds too. It's really airtight, really responsive. Well, for the most part. It's responsive for the most part. So this is what it sounds like with me just raking up and down the harp. Yeah, very responsive on all the holes. But with certain phrases, I really, like, for me at least, I really noticed that with some of the holes, it does tend to get stuck. I've never had this before on any other harmonica, except for maybe my A flat Hohner Golden Melody, but that's really not really the case. But this one is more prone to sticking, but I feel like if you do make some changes to the gaps out of the box, then this is actually a very well playing harmonica. And I really love how this feels. In terms of its appearance, this is actually one of the most beautiful looking harmonicas that I've owned. I really like the color of the comb as well. It has like a very airbrush kind of look to it because of the wood fibers in it. It really gives it almost like a tie-dye appearance. And in terms of its tone, it has its tuning is really interesting. It's marketed as compromised tuning, but this is more I've heard, but from what I've heard it play, from like what I've tried, this sounds like an equal temperament harmonica. It sounds extremely close to equal temperament, if not almost dead on equal temperament. Like it's like you can hear like a little bit of that. Again, you can hear like the harmonica tone has like this raspy quality to it. Like it's like the whole, like I do love a lot of harmonicas that have like a very like raspy sort of quality to its sound. Like I do really love like a lot of like the Hohner harmonicas, especially like the Hohner Rocket, Hohner Golden Melody. I do consider pretty raspy. Although I don't consider the Marine Band to be raspy, I consider it more solid than raspy. With the Manji, like it's marketed as like in terms the raspiness in the comb, the raspiness is contributed in marketing to the hybrid comb. But if you know me very well, I do not believe in the tone is in the comb, you know. It's like tone wood for harmonica. Like the whole tone comb kind of thing, I'm not really a fan of. I know a lot of people are like really diehard wooden comb fans and disregard everything else, but I'm generally not that kind of person. I'm like very open-minded. And so what I want to do right now is compare this a little bit with my other Suzuki harmonica. This is another B flat, and this is the Suzuki Bluesmaster. I've been playing this ever since 2023 as like my regular B flat, but I really want to like see like a full on test see what they would sound like back to back, because they do have very similar tones, at least in my opinion. But we're just gonna let it's not really gonna go through all that well, because you know it's like it's getting compressed nonetheless. So anyways, here is the blues scale on the Suzuki Manji Sky. And here is what it sounds like on the Bluesmaster. You can tell like the Bluesmaster is a lot more mellow sounding. I think it might be just due to like the wider holes and stuff. Because I know that a lot of people who don't like the Bluesmaster don't like the wider holes, and I think that's why why some people say that the Bluesmaster is very leaky, is just that the holes are just naturally like very wide, though not as wide as a Lee Oscar. They have generally pretty wide holes. So here's what it. So I almost played it with the harmonica upside down. So here's what the octaves would sound like on a Manji Sky. Very like, again, you get that like golden melody like kind of sound out of them. And here is the Bluesmaster. Yes, so I don't really consider myself a tongue blocker, but I'm more of a lip person more than a tongue blocker, and I can use black more than this rather than tongue block. I do want to make a video like tackling on like single notes, like like how to like create single notes and like getting like a decent-ish tone on no matter what you're gonna be doing on, no matter what embouchure out of the big three that you might be using. And so here's like a little bit of a random, nice kind of like blues lick sort of thing. It's just gonna be like a random string of blues licks on the Suzuki Manji Sky. And here's a similar thing. I'm gonna try and play the same thing on the Suzuki Bluesmaster. You can tell that the Bluesmaster is not as prone to squealing as the Suzuki Manji is. But I do love like the brighter and louder quality of the Manji Sky compared to the Bluesmaster. Well, I think that the Bluesmaster does have a lot of good qualities to it. I know it's not going to be everybody's favorite. So, like, here's, like, the Bluesmaster, from my experience, is genuinely really well made, but I know that some people who especially aren't like, used to, like, big sounding, aren't to those wide holes and stuff, I wouldn't recommend the Bluesmaster if you're not into, like, the wider, like, holes on a harmonica, but this is what I would recommend the Suzuki Manji Sky for. This is like really good for if you're wanting to learn how to bend, obviously. Like everybody knows that. But I think I would recommend is like, especially for like playing blues and country. Like I know I can do like a lot of country. See right there, that's like the whole stuck hole sort of thing. You gotta like, yeah, this needs some gapping. Like I can't do like the Terry McMillan I'll Fly Away lick on this one because you know some of the gaps are not that great. So, but this is like really great for like creating like that bluesy sort of sound, that bluesy Terry McMillan sound. Even though it's not a Hohner Golden Melody, this is like a really, really good similar sounding harmonica if you wanted to get that sound. I would also recommend this to people who like the original Suzuki Manji, but aren't really particularly fans of like the thicker reeds. Because this is actually marketed as having like actually a thinner reed. It has like a thinner reed than actually is marketed for having thinner reeds than the original Manji, which also it contributes, which I say really contributed to the whole sound change. Because from hearing the demos, I really can tell like there's like a warm and full sound on the original Manji, while the Manji Sky has like a raspier, brighter sound. And of course, cover plates also really help with the tone too. For me, it's the most important things to a harmonica in terms of tone are the actual person playing it, the shape and thickness of the reeds, as well as the cover plates. Because if you hear like the Manji wood, which is like the one with the wooden covers, it actually has like a very warm and deep ass sound. So I'm just gonna leave it there and I'll see you guys next time.